Hi, I'm Ed Cross, the restoration lawyer. It's September the 11th, 2020, and once again, we're in a state of disaster. Thousands of homes and businesses have been incinerated in a fire season that's as devastating as it is historic. 30 enormous blazes are burning across California right now. 20,000 people have had to evacuate. My heart goes out to everyone who's suffered in these unthinkable losses, as if 2020 hasn't already been bad enough with the pandemic. Fortunately, we're well equipped with a good restoration industry to take on the challenges of helping people get their lives back together. But there are a number of special rules that apply when a contractor is working in California during a state of emergency. And every time something like this happens, a bunch of contractors get themselves in trouble. I know you're scrambling to get jobs set up, and I'd like to help, so I want to quickly alert you to 2 common pitfalls and send you some free material to help. First, no one in the state of California can present, solicit, negotiate, or execute a contract for residential work unless that person is either the actual holder of a contractor's license or has a home improvement salesperson's license and is employed by a licensed contractor. The home improvement salesperson's license is called an HIS registration. Before an HIS holder can begin working for a contractor, the contractor first has to provide written notice to the license board that the HIS is employed by the contractor. Submission of the form constitutes notice of employment, so it can be done quickly. You do not need an HIS registration if you're simply making appointments for someone who holds the registration, or you're the technician or repair person who's out there performing the actual labor and not executing or negotiating contracts. So don't sign a contract for residential work in California if your name is not on a contractor's license or a home improvement salesperson's registration, and you can only sign as an HIS if you're legitimately employed by a licensed contractor. Now, when disasters occur, the state of California sets up sting operations with actors who call restoration companies asking for estimates. They set up hidden cameras in the house and they record the conversations, and law enforcement waits nearby. If the company representative starts talking about the price of the work or solicits or negotiates a contract, but is not a licensed contractor or a registered HIS on the license, law enforcement swoops in, and in many cases, the company representative walks off in handcuffs. It's a serious violation. Second point, another hot button in California during a cat loss is the right of rescission. Consumers have a 3-day right to cancel contracts executed in their homes, but when a state of emergency has been declared, contractors signing residential contracts in California have to give a 7-day notice of the right to cancel instead of the regular 3-day notice. This is only if the contractor is working on a project to address damage that's caused by that state of emergency. So if you're working on a toilet overflow, you just give the 3-day notice. Contractors get themselves in trouble writing their own notices of the right to cancel because the notice has to be taken verbatim directly from the California Civil Code. Don't summarize it. You'll be subject to disciplinary actions if you don't provide the notice word for word. I'll save you the trouble and just give it to you for free. Many contractors get the notice right, but then they fail to include another notice that has to come with it as well. The notice of the right to cancel also must be accompanied by 2 exact copies of a notice of cancellation. This is the document the customers use in the event that they elect to cancel the contract. So in sum, it's a bundle of 3 pages that get provided to the customer, and that's in addition to your California home improvement contract. One way you can tell if your cancellation package is incomplete is to count the pages. If you don't have 3 pages dedicated to the right to cancel, it's incomplete. Also, the home improvement contract itself has to state that there's a right to cancel, and it has to include a paragraph stating that the notice has been provided to the customer, and then the customer initials a box to confirm receipt of the notice. This paragraph also has to be taken straight out of the code. Now, I know what a lot of people are asking. What about emergencies? Well, the code is complex, and many people are under the misunderstanding that no notice needs to be given for emergency service. That's wrong. The notice of the right to cancel must be given to all residential customers in the state of California. Under certain circumstances, if the customer has received proper notice of the right to cancel, Then the customer can waive the right to cancel following a special procedure. The notice of the right to cancel includes a section where the customer can waive the right to cancel for emergency service, but only if the contract is initiated by the customer and the work is being done to address exigent circumstances. This means that the work is immediately necessary for the immediate protection of persons or property. Now, the conditions that make the work immediately necessary must be described in a writing the customer gives to the contractor. Space is provided for that in the waiver. So, if a fire burned a hole in a roof and rain is coming, the right to cancel can be waived because immediate work is necessary to protect the interior from the coming rain. But if it's just soot inside a house and everything is stable, and leaving it for a week is not going to jeopardize the property, but you want to start the work within 7 days, you can't get a waiver unless the work is necessary for the immediate protection of the occupants. But if they've evacuated, that's another question. In my experience, cancellations are actually somewhat rare. But in a lot of cases, it's better to just give the notice of the right to cancel and then wait 7 days before starting the work. If the contract is not initiated by the customer, you can't get a waiver of the right to cancel. Keep that in mind if you're going door to door. But you must always give the notice of the right to cancel and 2 copies of the notice of cancellation. I'll send you the 7-day notices for free. Just send an email to me at edcross@edcross.com with all your contact information and the word notice in the subject line. And I'll send you a free package including the 7-day notice forms, a set of instructions on how to fill them out, a script to use to present it to the customer in plain English, and a booklet of the current law so you can read the actual rules instead of relying on rumors or hearsay. I'll also include the form to notify the CSLB that you brought on a home improvement salesperson. Now, every case is unique, and I'm required to explain that this is just general information. It's not a substitute for the advice of an attorney, but it is a substitute for some of the attorney's fees that you would incur to get all this information. So I hope this helps while you're responding during this catastrophe, and we're grateful to all the brave restorers coming to the aid of our fellow Californians who've been victimized by this horrible disaster. I'm here to help you avoid running afoul of the dizzying array of California technical requirements. If you'd like more information or contracts, please visit therestorationlawyer.com. And we have a brand new update of our standardized California cleaning and restoration contract package, which comes with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Thank you very much and stay safe.